Before his turn to the dark side, Anakin Skywalker was a surprisingly good mentor to his padawan, Ahsoka Tano. Here's how their relationship evolved through the Clone Wars and after the rise of the Empire. It's almost difficult to remember now, but one of the most iconic characters in all of Star Wars didn't necessarily start that way. Voiced by Ashley Eckstein, Jedi Padawan Ahsoka Tano made her first appearance amid the decidedly mixed reception of 2008's Star Wars The Clone Wars animated film. Undeterred by this setback, Dave Filoni and George Lucas forged ahead with a spin-off series that finally convinced fans to come around and accept Ahsoka as an exciting new addition to the canon. In many ways, her journey parallels the rehabilitation of Anakin Skywalker himself, both in-universe, as Darth Vader ultimately restored balance to the Force with his sacrifice, and among fans, who've done a complete 180-degree turn on Hayden Christensen's portrayal of the fallen Jedi Knight. That's only one of the many reasons why the dynamic and relationship between Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano, as depicted in the Clone Wars series and revisited in Star Wars Rebels, proved to be so fascinating. With the Ahsoka Disney Plus series now giving the title character a much bigger spotlight in live action, it only feels right to look back at Star Wars history to see how Ahsoka and Anakin's relationship evolved over time.
I admit Ahsoka is a little rough around the edges, but with a great deal of training and patience, she might amount to something.
While Ahsoka failed to win over many fans in her first appearance, the eager apprentice would greatly benefit from the sharp writing and ample screen time prevalent throughout the spin-off series to become an integral member of the cast and a genuine fan-favorite character. Under the oftentimes reckless tutelage of her master Anakin Skywalker, the two carved a path through the raging Clone Wars on countless adventures. Looking back, it's startling to realize just how far the pair have come. Her early years training under Anakin were much more antagonistic than some fans may remember, with Anakin chafing at the responsibility of taking on an apprentice of his own. He obviously failed to recognize many of the same qualities of stubbornness and rebelliousness in her that he himself possessed. Of course, those similarities would only bring them closer together. Proving her worth multiple times in the early seasons of the Clone Wars helped shift their dynamic on a much more equal footing, and eventually results in more of a familial bond. And just when it seemed she was about to take her place as a full-fledged Jedi in her own right, Ahsoka left the Order entirely. Consider this the key turning point for both characters. After leaving the Jedi Order, Ahsoka embarked on a quest to figure out her place in the galaxy on her own. Both characters dealt with this separation very differently, as the growing influence of the dark side on a guilt-ridden Anakin only manifested in deeper and more disturbing ways. Serving as mirrors of one another, Ahsoka represents the potential for good that her former master is capable of, along with the rebellious streak and penchant for rule-breaking that makes Anakin such an ideal mark for the Sith to exploit. The final season of the Clone Wars ends with a stretch of episodes that shifts perspective away from Anakin and Obi-Wan and much more towards Ahsoka, depicting her as a fearless and effective leader who nonetheless loses heart when she hears about Anakin's betrayal and fall to the dark side from afar. Rebels picks up on this thread many years later, as Ahsoka is plagued by rumors of the sinister threat of Darth Vader and her feelings of shame over what Anakin has become. Where once there was genuine warmth and love between them, it had been replaced by hatred, pain, and anger. But over the course of her adventures with the Phoenix Squadron, fate provides one last confrontation between Ahsoka and the Jedi formerly known as Anakin. In one of the standout moments from the entire series, the two cross lightsabers in a duel for the ages. But as the Sith temple around them crumbles to pieces, Ahsoka makes the fateful choice to stand against her old master and bring her arc full circle. With the release of Ahsoka, despite taking place well after the fall of the Empire and the death of Darth Vader, it's clear that there remains some unfinished business between Ahsoka and Anakin. The trailer name-drops Anakin on multiple occasions and hints at flashbacks set during the events of the Clone Wars. It even seems to set up the possibility of Anakin reappearing to Ahsoka in the form of a Force ghost. But we never did get to see how Anakin's turn back to the light in his final moments affected the former apprentice's perception of her old master, if at all. Perhaps we're about to find out.